Pac-12 teams are rocking.
Absolutely sensational.
Three-time defending champion Utah's Red Rocks, once more led by Miley O'Keefe, who's already earned 2 perfect 10s.
Miley O'Keefe, a 10.0 perfection on opening night.
Junior Jade Carey is back for Oregon State. The Olympic gold medalist is competing for the Beavs with an eye on Paris in 24.
The Coliseum is on their feet as they should be.
Freshman of the year, UCLA Selena Harris may even be better this year. UCLA has just taken it up this to 11. But everyone's chasing California. The Bears ranked second with MJ Frazier's perfect 10, kickstarting their year.
Fantastic routine. Absolutely marvelous.
The gymnastics season rocks on right now, only on the Pac-12 Network. Gymnastics season opens today in the Emerald City and will run 3 months all the way to the Pac-12 Championships. It all begins here in Seattle as the Huskies of UW host the nation's #2 team, the Golden Bears of California. It's the meat of the week and it's live on the Pac-12 Network. A quick look at the national rankings finds the 2-time defending national champions. Oklahoma still at the top, but how about California sitting at #2 as the highest ranking in school history? Utah right now at #5 is off this weekend. 6 conference teams in the top 25. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Watson alongside Elisa Mao, and welcome to Montlake as we begin the Pac-12 season. And I'm going to do it right at the top. Let's call California the best team in the Pac-12 conference right now. And it's not a new thing. This is 12 straight years in the regionals for California, and they just put up the 7th highest score in school history, a ridiculous 197.875 this early in the season. Talk about the individuals. Maya Lazan, breakout season last year as a sophomore. Now she's #1 in the nation in the all-around.
Yep, that Seattle prodigy, Maya Lazan, is perfect on multiple events. She's been near 9.975 on this vault last weekend. She's gotten a 9.975 on floor, where she's ranked tied for first vault and floor and ranked first in the all-around. She's a 6-time All-American, also never fallen in her Cal career.
15 wins last year in her breakout season, the co-Pac-12 floor champion as well, along with Jade Carey. How about the sophomore, MJ Frazier? She almost won Freshman of the Year last year.
And MJ has shown she's been perfect on floor, and today, last week in Las Vegas, she was perfect on beam, keeps breaking her own all-around records. That 39.775 is the highest score for anyone in Cal history, and she is just so dynamic in just her sophomore year. Really special athlete.
Ranked on 3 different events. How about for Washington? They lost almost half its routines from last year, but they do return the all-arounder, Skylar Kilho-Wilhelm.
And this young Husky team really needs this senior and has already shown up so well in her first 2 meets, a 39.4 last week. She has difficulty across all 4 events, and the execution just keeps getting better as she goes into this season.
UW made a big jump from week 1 to week 2, but they're going to need a huge leap today and a little attitude to beat the nation's #2 team, California, and the Huskies of UW. Live from Montlake, it's the meat of the week. Fitness. And brought to you by Watch Sports, the official live event guide of the Pac-12 Conference. Download it today. Seattle Center and the iconic Space Needle. Back in 2016, I actually raced the UW offensive line up those stairs along with Yogi Roth.
Who won?
They beat us. And Yogi's hair still looked great at the top. I don't know how he did it. It was amazing. They're calling it Forever 50 inside Alaska Airlines Arena. It is the 50th season of UW Gymnastics, dating back to 1973-74. This is a young team. They have 6 new faces, including 5 freshmen, so there's going to be some growing pains. They came out of the gates with a modest score. But then in week 2, there was a bump. What happened? What was the difference week 1 to week 2?
You know, it was interesting. It was all about bars. The Huskies had 2 falls on bars their first week, but they were from upperclassmen. So it's actually, the freshmen have been fantastic. in their first few outings. Kristen Lynn is a very special athlete for the Huskies. You'll see her on 3 events tonight. And then Chelsea Hallinan, I'm really excited about her beam leadoff that you'll see today.
Yeah, the meet in week 2 was at Iowa. It was the first ever dual meet between those two schools in gymnastics. And UW won the bars and the beam, but more importantly, they improved their scores on bars, beam, and floor, and it was all the usual suspects. Of course, Skylar Wilhelm tied a career high on beam. Taylor Russin, a new career best on beam. You just mentioned Chelsea Hallinan put up that 9.85 in her second career appearance. Emily Ennis competed on vault, beam, and floor, and a 9.85 on beam. So everybody got better. So maybe we just chalk it up to opening night nerves. You put it behind you. There's going to be some learning curve. There's going to be some growing pains for the young Huskies, the Gym Dogs of UW. Today, against the number 2 team in the country, the Golden Bears of California. We come back to Montlake on the Pac-12 Network. The Edmondson Pavilion, now Alaska Airlines Arena on campus at UW. California, the number 2 team in the country, comes in at 5-1. Only Oklahoma, the 2-time defending national champions, are better than California right now. And if not for a subpar beam set in week 1, California could be the number 1 team. Regardless, it is the school's highest ranking ever. Olympic order, that means the home team, Washington, will start on the vault. And Lily Tubbs will be our leadoff. All 9.95s on start value, no 10-0s for Washington. How's that affect the score?
Yes, we talk about the perfect 10, and these gymnasts want to get that score, but they can't on vault because they'll get a perfect 9.95. That's their high water mark. Cal will have at least 3 10-0s in their vault lineup, so you're starting down 2.5 tenths automatically. So the Huskies really need to hone in on their landings here. I've been really impressed with their progress from last year. Their vaults look higher. They look like more dynamic. But when the margin of error is so small, you have to dial in that landing.
Better to do a lesser vault in terms of score perfectly than a more difficult vault with faults?
It depends on who the athlete is. Lana Navarro used to do 1.5, doing the full right now to get a better score. So here we start with Lily Tubbs, the sophomore,
who added the vault this year, career at 9.8 at Iowa last week.
And I talked about the landing. She dialed it in, and you'll notice she held it a little bit longer than normal before the big college celebration started, and that's because there's a new finishing deduction. The judges need you to hold your landing position for 1 full second with your arms up. Both coaches talked about really emphasizing that in the offseason.
California begins on the bars. California is ranked 4th in the country, 2nd best in the conference on this event. And Andy Lee was top 10 ranked in the country on this event last year.
Yeah, she's exceptional. That straddle Jaeger is new to her college gymnastics milieu. She can do any release move, just making some adjustments, took out her Van Leeuwen release move, but their technical prowess on this event really sets them apart. She'll finish here the blind full to the double tuck, and just the tiniest of hops forward on that landing, one of the only few deductions in that routine.
She had a 9.9 on bars at Las Vegas. That's her top score this year, but it's one that she lived at last year. 14 of her 15 bars routines last year were 9.9 or better. That's ludicrous.
Yeah. And Coach Howell said that they can go 10-0 top to bottom of that bars lineup.
9.875 for Lily Tubbs. Now Emily Ennis, second up for the Gym Dogs over on the vault. Ennis usually in the lead off her ankle spot on vault. Career high 9.875 at Las Vegas. Holds on to the landing.
Yeah, nicely done. Had just that slide back, a little bit of a pike down, but I like the distance that she got on that vault. Her body position started out very nice in the layout. Good block, just pikes down as she kind of comes around the 3/4 part of that twist, and that's what led her to do that hop back.
Waiting for the score on Andy Lee. 9.85.
That is, I've just got to say, that's low. For what I saw from that routine, Seattle's sometimes known for having tight judges. It's unfortunate for both of these teams, but.
And here is Maya Lazan, and you mentioned from the Northwest, so she's got friends and family, and it's always personal when you come back. On the bars, Last year, she only had 5 in a row in the mid-season. 4 times went 9-8. She's already gone 9-8-7-5 in the quad last week.
It just shows you how phenomenal their bar lineup is. It's so deep. She had one handstand off the top that was a little bit short, but that one was lovely. Has such beautiful execution and nails the landing. Hopped last week. So great to see her dial that in.
And again, I mentioned not a regular in the lineup. It was that spurt in the mid-season, and her scores were good, but then she went back to 3 events down the stretch.
Yep, and there's her full twisting double back dismount. Slides the heels together, holds for the 1 second required. Great job.
9-7-7-5 for Ennis. Brings us to Lana Navarro. She's on the vault 9 times last year. She went 9-8 or better. Season high this season so far 9-8-2-5.
Very clean fall. Not the most height, not the most distance, but great form, a very well-controlled landing. She is working on that Yurchenko 1.5 that she performed as a freshman. She's also working on that with Skylar Killow-Wilhelm, who hopes to put that in later in the season. But it's technically a bit high on we normally see from her.
9-9-5 for Maya Lazan, the #1 ranked all-around gymnast in the country right now.
And that's a new career high for her. Just ridiculous, the scores that she puts up based on just the beautiful routines that she does.
Lazan with the 15 wins last year. That was the breakout for her. Now some last-minute instructions for Ella Cesario. And Cesario also expected to be in the all-around today for California. She had been in the first 2 meets as well. On the bars, season high 9-9 at Vegas, also at a 9-8-7-5 at the quad. So she's been very good on this early in the season.
It just looks easy for Ella on this event. Combining those 2 release moves is very difficult. Nice and smooth so far. I like her straight arms on the casts and really holding that handstand to show her power. And I would say the tiniest of slides, maybe a jump in place on that landing, but fantastic in the 3rd spot for the Bears.
Just a 9-8 for Navarro. Remember that 6 compete, you can throw 1 out. And here is Kristen Lynn, freshman from Santa Clara.
And just a stunning vault. The height, the distance, the form, has the tiny hop, but in her first 2 meets, she has had way too much power and not been able to harness it. Coach Llewellyn talked about the importance for her of just settling into her gymnastics, getting used to the college groove. And if anything, this meet has a lot more pomp and circumstances than their first 2. In Las Vegas was sort of a unique quad meet, and in Iowa last week there was a huge snowstorm, so barely any fans in the stands. So great job for the freshman.
Yeah, home opener for the freshman. She had, what, 9-6s her first couple weeks, so that's going to be a career number for her. 9-9 for Cesario. The numbers continue to roll for California. And here comes Gabby Perea. Perea will be on 2 events today, the bars and the beam. And Perea is ranked on this event. She's ranked 8th in the country coming in.
Just stunning execution. She went 9-9-7-5 last year, so shows you one judge said she was perfect. Thus far, no deductions that I've seen. Just the tiniest slide on that double
Already
A.
had a 9-9 and a 9-9-5 this year on bars, and the score is going to be right in that neighborhood as well.
Yep. The improvements that Cal is making on bars are end of the season, tiniest of corrections on toe point, on maybe a tiny leg separation under the bars when she tapped into that dismount. Just stunning.
9-8-2-5, Kristen Lynn. And here comes the all-arounder, Skylar Killow-Wilhelm. The 9-9-5 start value. At a 9-8-5 already this year. Best score. Hop back.
Huge hop back. She flared out her arms. You could tell she was really going for the landing. And that was the best vault of the lineup so far, but just not the landing that you wanted. Had a really nice position in the air. You can tell her block. Nice block, nice set, but just didn't quite have the air awareness to find that landing. That's probably a 2.3-tenth hop, unfortunately.
Yeah, landing with the chest down, and then the momentum carries her backwards. Perea goes 9.85. Here is MJ Frazier, one of the best freshmen in the country last year. Frazier is ranked in the top 20 on vault. Not ranked on this event, but she has gone 9.85 and 9.925 already this year.
And I've loved watching her improvement in the off-season. They've made some technical adjustments to the way she does her gymnastics, and it is really showing up in these first couple meets, like that double layout. I was going to say her chest is higher than it was last season, and just had to take that step back.
And you mentioned before that MJ Frazier coming off that Cal record all-around score of 39.775, and Cal has a deep and rich history in gymnastics. There is a change in the Washington lineup. Over on vault, Emma Schrady now in the anchor spot. Emma Schrady was on vault a handful of times last year, and once so far this year, a 9.725 at the Super 16 in Vegas. So a little tweak here by the head coaches, Jen Llewellyn.
And it's a nice adjustment. You know, it's not the highest vault, has a little bit of a low chest on the landing, but nails that stick. You know, Coach Llewellyn said that there are a few athletes that they warm up 8 on vault, and they decide in warm-up who's going to go in that last spot based on what they look like just minutes before they compete. So great job to Emma for dialing in that landing and being ready to go when her number was called.
So MJ Frazier got a 9.85. It brings us to Maddie Williams, who is the best on this event for California and one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, reigning All-American, number 4 in the country on bars right now. Coach Justin Howe called her bar work virtuous, like virtuosity is the word that he used.
Both of her early scores have been above 9.9.
Stunning extension and toe point. It's all about the landing, and nails it. Feet together, chest up, gorgeous.
Cal's season high is a 49.55. That came in their first meet at Las Vegas. This is going to be close. The score to drop going into that final routine was a 9.85. I think it's safe to say that Maddie Williams just blew that out. California, number 2 in the country, and a great first opening rotation in Seattle.
Buying a house